privacy, trust, and freedom of information with respect to people, systems, and data. So what we're going to take a look at in this video is these three specific terms, that of privacy, trust, and freedom of information, and look at how they impact in three different categories in the realm of data protection. So firstly, we have that of privacy, which refers to the right of individuals and enterprises to keep their information confidential and the control over the collection, use, and sharing of that personal data. The next term is that of trust, which involves confidence in the integrity, security, and reliability of digital systems and the entities that operate them. Essentially, that it's securing data, keeping it safe, and it's of quality. And then the third term is that of freedom of information, which pertains to the right to access information held by public bodies and in the broader principle for open, transparent access to data. And essentially, what we're also saying here is if an individual has data stored about them on a system, well, they have the right to be able to access those records to ensure that they are correct, help maintain them, and that see that they are true. So these are our three terms of focus here. We can now have a look at the impact they have in certain areas. So firstly, it's the impact on people. So privacy is about maintaining control over their own personal information and deciding how and by whom it will be used. So if they're going to give their data to an organization, it obviously needs to be kept confidential by the organization, and hopefully they're not going to be sharing it with people. Which then brings us to trust. Okay, the individual having faith in the system, in the digital system, and this will be influenced by their experiences, that it will be reliable in protecting their data, that they'll be secure with their data, and they'll ensure that they maintain the data and keep it correct. And then finally, individuals benefit from freedoms to the access to information, which empowers them to make informed decision. So having the right to access information that pertains to them, okay, there's obviously an advantage of that, but also by contributing to systems that gather and compound data together, it creates systems that have facts and obviously provide quality data to the user for whatever their purpose may be, still keeping private data confidential, but obviously it helps the actual system meet its needs, and that supports individuals. So that is the first category of people. The second category is that of systems themselves. Essentially, systems need to be designed and configured to protect the privacy of data. All right. Unless a system does this, individuals will not contribute their information to that system. In a perfect world, obviously there are systems where people do not read the terms and conditions and what people are going to do with those systems, but we won't go down that tangent just yet. But essentially, we do want to develop systems that will maintain the privacy of data in order to hopefully encourage people to commit their data to the system and they feel safe entering their data into those systems. Trust in systems is achieved through having a robust set of security features, architectures, and ongoing assessments that adhere to community standards. So essentially, they have a variety of security protection methods, such as login procedures, encryption, and firewalls, and all of that, so that individuals can have faith in the actual system itself, that their data will be safe not only on the system, but transmitting between their system and their actual node themselves they're connecting with to get to the main system to submit their data to. So the systems need to be built with robust security features. And then in relation to freedom of information, systems play a crucial role in enabling the access to public information while safeguarding sensitive data. And that is the balance that I was mentioning with the individuals, that they do have access to amalgamated information, and that information influences the system's processing, which is good. But then it's also safeguarding and maintaining the confidentiality and privacy of information that is stored on it about individuals. And thus, that is done by the system through implementing those security procedures. The final category is that of the data itself. So protecting data privacy involves employing techniques such as those security methods we mentioned before, but also features such as anonymizing information on the system. So if it is providing statistical data that will support people with their decision-making processes, whether public or on an enterprise-based system, by anonymizing the data, it means people can still read certain data aggregate data and see graphs and all that, but not be able to link it to specific individuals. So keeping that data safe. And that's what we're talking about with the anonymization there. So we're not just talking about the security of data, but we're also talking about using data without actually knowing who's it about, but still being able to see its relevance and be provided with meaningful information. Data integrity and confidentiality are fundamental in building trust. So we want data to be safe and private, but we also want data to be correct and useful. And that's how we get trust in the systems we develop. People will trust the system if they feel their data is going to be safe on that system and that the system provides them with quality real world data, even though it is keeping confidentially and whose data it is private. And then finally, balancing data protection with freedom of information provides mechanisms to securely share data that should be public while restricting access to sensitive data. So that is the balancing act there. The data is turned into a form that is meaningful, as we said, through anonymization and combining data together and giving meaningful visualizations that support users' decision-making process with the system. But it also restricts access of different levels of users, people who work behind the scenes on the system, to also protect sensitive information and the identities of people who have given information to that system. And ultimately, the system can still achieve its purpose while maintaining that privacy of data. So I hope this video has given you a bit of an understanding of these concepts of privacy, trust, and freedom of information. That data is kept obviously confidential, that people must have trust in the systems that they use, and essentially freedom of information, they have the right to actually access data stored about them on systems, and then how these three features are addressed at multiple levels, in that of the individual person, the system themselves, and the data that goes through the system.